I'm gonna see you to see me. Here I am.
I'm here. I'm here.
All right, stop sharing. Here I am. I was like in the middle of copying a link and I was like, oh my gosh, it's done already.
How did it happen so fast?
Oh, for real. 5 minutes has just never felt like it went so fast. There's a joke there. I'm not gonna say it, even though it is late at night, but we aren't on the book club. So I'll just let y'all sit on that joke yourselves and I'll say cheers to you if you got the joke about the 5 minutes. I've never said that's hilarious.
I like that music better than the other music.
You know, I have been playing around with all sorts of music. I bought some fun music for the BiCrafty Champions workshop. I should play it for you because I think it works. It's so great. You were on that, right? Where I was like posting all these video or all these music things.
No.
Which one? Oh, girl. Okay, hold on. Let me save. All right. First off, hey everybody, I'm Marley Bird. This is my executive assistant, Chrissy, and you're here for the BiCrafty Bootcamp. Welcome. We are thrilled you are here, and we've got a lot of things to go over today. A lot of chit chat about, you know, what we have been doing, things that are coming up. And then we're starting our next project today also. So there's a lot happening. So you do want to stay tuned. I'm guessing this video is going to go more than an hour. So sit back, relax. If you have to leave and come back, that's okay. It'll be here. You can always hit pause. But while you're here right now, go ahead and smash that like button, please, please, please. And in the live chat, if watching live, go ahead and let us know where you are joining us from. Did I catch everything there? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
We're good.
Okay. So I want to have you listen to this music. So you like that music. So music, I mean, I don't know if you guys, I don't think I've ever shared this before, but music has always been like a big thing in my life in the sense of not me playing music, reading music, anything like that, but like listening to music and putting together like mixtapes back in the day, like, or putting together warm-up tapes and such for my teams that I was on. Like, I just loved doing that. And so music is just a really big part of my life in that, right? So when I'm choosing music for different things, I really spend an absurd amount of time doing it, which it's funny because I always go back to the same old, but I picked this music for the BiCrafty Champions workshop, which we will be talking about, and I love it. Okay, you want to hear it? You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's see if that'll play. Oh, start listening. Oh, that's not it. Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't that sound totally Olympic-like?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the jam.
Right? Isn't it just, let's do this. So it goes, oh, I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah.
A lot longer. It's just fabulous. I was like, this is great, right? And so then
I dig that.
I was like, well, let me just listen to some other things, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, maybe some of this stuff might be good for future videos. So like, I have this one. Is it going to play?
Oh, I like this too.
I was like, all right, kind of like sit back, relax, and then
reminds me of Pink Panther.
Right? Yeah. Let's open. Come on, open up. This makes me think of like a montage of different like video clips of me like swinging around, putting a scarf over my neck, or being like, right? I mean, seriously.
I do. I love it. Those are some good choices.
I gotta find how to turn it off.
We're stuck. We can't get it off.
I know, right? I found it. Okay. So yeah. So thank you for the music thing, but I love the sort of Olympic feel of that one for the BiCrafty workshop. And that was really cool. So it's very exciting that we are jumping in with the workshop is happening soon. It starts on the 23rd. It just went live. And if you guys don't know what it's all about, long story short, I've teamed up with Robin Chichula and Erin Lane Bags and Destination Yarn to put together a sort of like an advent box for the Olympics. The boxes were being sold by Destination Yarn and Erin Lane Bags my contribution and Robin's contribution, we put together an entire workshop, which is a knit along and a crochet along for a shawl. So she did a crochet shawl, I did a knit shawl, and you can do either one. The workshop, you get both patterns. You get over 15 videos of instruction, very high-end videos, full tech edited patterns, full color, like all sorts of stuff. So if you buy the workshop without the box, you can still do it. You just buy the workshop from me and get your own yarn. If you bought the box, the workshop comes with the box. That's kind of how that goes. So the workshop just opened up for purchase from me and Robin. So if you are interested at all, and I'm telling you guys, as BiCrafty knitters and crocheters, you can do either one of these shawls. I will be honest, mine's probably easier than the crochet one, believe it or not. Robin really, guys, it's so pretty. I'm looking at hers, I'm looking at mine, I'm like, okay, well, you know, but it's different. It's a different pretty, right? It's crochet pretty, different, but it's difficult. It's a difficult, like, I'm editing her video at one point and I said, you did not just make them do that. She goes, oh yeah, I did. And I was like, girl, I'm gonna hate you. But it's really great. It's really great. So I would love to show you guys the opening of one of our videos. It's the one for winding yarn, actually. It's just the opening to kind of give you an idea of what you're getting into when you get into it, because the videos themselves, she did all the crochet videos, I'm doing all the knit videos. So you do only get one of us, one or the other, when you're doing the course. But when we were doing all of the what we're calling the pre-game videos, which will be up on the 17th, those videos were done by both of us for the most part. How to wind yarn, how to choose your color. She did a video on gauge. I did a video on gauge. I think there's one more video in there. I can't think of what I'm missing. But it's really pretty fantastic. Okay, so now I got to open it. You got to give me a second so I can open it. And I got to pause. Go back and pause. But how do I share screen? All right, hold on. I got to figure out how to do a share screen. Well, crappers. Okay, hold on. Escape. There we go. Oh, these are, gotta love technology. Okay, I'm gonna pause it again. Hold on. All right. And now I'm gonna share screen. I gotta have two screens to make this work. So hopefully this will work. Okay, can you see just a blank screen with a white piece?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna show you the start of this video. You ready?
Marley Bird and Robin Chichula are proud to present the BiCrafty Champions Workshop.
Look how different we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inspiration Station. This is actually the corner of the Birds of a Feather production studio. I love to come over here and get inspired by all of this yarn, but you'll notice it is all in hank format. What is a hank?
Well, you're going to have to wait to find out.
But
right? So that is our intro for all the videos. And I mean, honestly, I'm just very excited. So if you've ever done a knit along or a crochet along with me before, you kind of know what you're getting into. We've done a lot of these. This is the first, though, paid knit along crochet along that we've done, because it is very intense. We have written instructions, charted instructions, full videos, an entire platform for you to go and get all this material. And then at the end of the knit along, you will get the full PDF of the whole pattern, not just the knitting pattern, not just the crochet pattern. You get both patterns. So as BiCrafty individuals, you guys, I mean, it's a lot of bang for your buck. Now the price right now is half price through the 22nd. So the regular price for this workshop is going to be $33, which is still a steal if you compare that to like some Stitches classes or a lot of other classes. I mean, it's amazing. But for right now until the 22nd, it's $16.50. So that's great. You're getting two patterns, all the techniques and everything to go with it. And you do not have to have the box to participate. You can get your own stash yarn to participate, but there is still time to purchase the box. There's only a few boxes left. They're amazing. So I highly recommend, if you have the means and the ability to get it, I highly recommend buying those. The links are all in my blog post that I have linked below. So beneath this video, in the video description box, you'll see where there's a link for the BiCrafty Champions workshop blog post, essentially, and you follow those directions, and that's how you would buy it and get signed in. And if you have any issues, contact our customer support, Chrissy, and you'll be all set. It's so cool. All right, let's see. Ellie says, was Julia saying? I love it. I get my box on Wednesday. Julia says, no, she wasn't. Robin is shorter than Marley. Oh, what was Carla? What did Carla say? I don't know. Is Robin sitting down? No, Robin is that short.
It's Robin sitting down. Oh, poor Robin.
Robin and it's funny because as I was editing the videos, I mean, I knew, obviously I know I'm taller than Robin, but I never really see us on camera together.
Right.
So different. I was like, wow.
How tall is Robin? Because I'm pretty short too, but I
think she's like 5'2", maybe.
Okay, I'm 5'3", so that's what we're gonna look like together too.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm 5'10", so I'm quite tall. So yeah, Robin is not sitting down. She'll get a kick out of that. She will laugh so hard.
So funny.
Yeah. It's pretty good stuff. So there you go. That's the BiCrafty Champions workshop. It is a paid for knit along, crochet along that we are doing in conjunction with the Olympics. Do you have to watch the Olympics? Absolutely not. Is it going to be available after the Olympics? Absolutely. This is going to be going on forever. So even after the Olympics, the videos will still be up. We'll actually be pumping it up a little bit more. So if you buy the workshop now, and then we add more stuff to it later and raise the price, you will get all the stuff later and you don't have to pay the extra price. You just get the extra stuff because you were early, and you were the early bird that got the worm.
Early bird.
So that's the deal with that. So many people have finished their BiCrafty champion or BiCrafty community complimentary hat. Man, how hard could I make that? Look at you.
I did it. I really struggled. You guys saw the last few weeks, I frogged this thing so many times, mostly because I'm a perfectionist and I like to live on the wild side and didn't use any lifelines. So that was my own fault. But I love it so much. I literally love it so much. It's so pretty. My mom was saying, I was finishing it up. I went to visit my mom this weekend. I had a baby shower in New Jersey and I was finishing it up. My mom was like, wow, that's like really good. I'm like, I know. Like, isn't that amazing? I'm just like blown away. The patterns that you chose, the stitches that you chose really make it look so much more complicated than it was. And I loved that me finishing this. Like, I will be so proud to wear this around. Like, yeah, I made that.
You know, what I thought was really cool was I was opening my Facebook one morning and your story came up and you had your hat on. And I was like, she finished her hat. Like, I thought that was just the coolest thing because I know how exciting it is to make your first knit item as a crocheter. You guys all know I was a crocheter first. So to make your first knit item, it's like, wow, I cannot believe I made this. And I wasn't doing this stuff. Like, you guys are way more advanced than I was doing. I mean, I was making socks, but I mean, I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing Latvian braids. I wasn't doing color work. I wasn't doing all of this combination stuff. I didn't do that. And it's not because I thought it was too difficult. Nobody taught. I kind of taught myself, you know, in the grand scheme of it all. So I love how great you guys are doing and how good everything looks. It's pretty darn amazing. And and you finished your cowl. So now you have like a matchy set. Yeah. Which that was a huge discussion between us of what's going to be the next project. And I know that you really wanted us to make socks, which is a really good idea.
I'm dying for socks. We'll do that. We'll get there.
Well, I've also got the whole knit along sock course I've already done, like on YouTube, which is really good. And so I'm like, let's make mittens. Let's make this a full, as I hit everything, let's make it a full set, make mittens, because mittens are just one step away from a sock, right? It's just mittens have thumbs instead of heels. So we're going to do something fun there.
It's so funny you say that, because that's exactly what I thought when you were like, let's finish the set and do mittens. I was like, you know what? That'll be great practice for socks, because I'm going to learn how to make the mittens. Mm-hmm. Knitting socks has just been something that's been on my bucket list forever. But it's funny because I literally looked up yesterday, I think it was, I was sitting here and I was like, what should I do? Because I can't sit still. So I'm like, what should I do while I'm waiting for our mittens? And I'm like, I'm going to look up Marley's knit along with her socks. So I did. I looked it up. I got all my stuff out. I was trying to pick out yarn that I wanted to use. So I'm going to try to do it. I'm just,
I mean, it was tailor fit for relatively beginner knitters. So it would work, especially, I mean, you guys are no longer crocheters learning to knit. You are knitters. Like,
yep.
All of the crocheters learning to knit aspect of this boot camp was really done in the first 2 to 3 weeks, really. Now you guys are just knitters, so you could tackle the My First Socks knit along if you want to. And I totally recommend doing it that way, because you do it with a worsted weight yarn. I highly recommend Chic Sheep. Yes, it doesn't have nylon in it or anything for durability, but it allows you to use larger needles with the larger yarn and fewer stitches, and you'll have more confidence in it. It's a really good beginner pattern to jump into with the double points. Even though I know some of you really struggle with double points on the top of the hat, you've got to trust me with this. As I'm working you through how to make socks with the double points, don't give up on yourself. It's going to take practice. It takes time, but I tell you all the different tips and tricks on to make sure how to keep all of your stitches on those needles. So you guys have trusted me this far in the process. Don't leave me now thinking, oh, there's an easier way. Work through the double points for a pair of top-down socks, and then you can go do the toe-up socks with 2 circulars or magic loop. That's the perfect transition in how to make socks, in my opinion. You should do top-down with double points, do toe up with either 2 circulars or magic loop, and it's a well-rounded way to learn how to make socks. That's the way I learned to make socks too.
Well,
I think it's really
and the BPMs were awkward finishing the hat, right? So like it was trying to figure out, where do I go? But one, I felt really stinking accomplished, right? Because I'm like, I'm knitting with 5 needles. Like I basically can do anything in life right now.
Yep.
So I felt super accomplished, number one. Number two, it also felt really awkward to cast on my first time. It felt really awkward to knit my first time. It felt really awkward to purl. But it's like you say all the time, it's about building that muscle memory. You'll get there. Everything we do is uncomfortable the first time. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah. That is my mantra.
You know, at Stitches, I used to teach a class called foreplay, how to master your double points, because it was, 4 needles, you have foreplay. Yeah. And always, people come to that class and their first thing most of the time is, I hate double points. I'm here just to figure out how I could just use them and get done with them. It was always like, I hate them. So imagine teaching a class of 30 people. And the first thing is, I hate what I'm getting ready to learn, but I'm here because I know I have to learn. Right. And honestly, learning double points, learning how to use them is just a step-by-step process of taking it one little step at a time. And I plan on doing that foreplay double pointed needles course as a mini class that people can buy, just to learn how to master your double points and work into it. We do a little bit of that in the knit along, but really, if to break it down bare bones, to take you step by step to be able to work with double pointed needles, it's practice. It's breaking it down and realizing you're still only using 2 needles. The other ones are just holding your stitches, So you kind of have to step back away from the fear of, I'm using 5 needles, and just just go with the flow, do what the teacher tells you to do, and it all works out. But yeah, I highly recommend doing the My First Socks with Marley Bird. It's a free knit along I did on YouTube. The video or the pattern is broken up into steps on my website, which has different tips and tricks on it. Or you could get the full PDF from yarnspirations.com, which does not have my tips and tricks. So if you're asking me, I would follow along with the videos, click the link in each of those videos that takes you to that section of the instructions on my website, because not only are you going to get the instructions, but you get the tips. but then also download the full PDF, because then you'll have both. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the way I would do it if I were running through it. That's exactly how I would do it. Yeah. So all of that is to say, when I decided to do mittens, I'm like, that'll make us, it'll be a perfect step into making socks. And we're going to start these mittens out flat, which might seem a little bit odd to everybody, but what we're going to do is we're going to learn a brand new cast on tonight. We're going to learn a provisional cast on, which as crocheters, you will master this in no time. And then we're going to knit some lace, and we're going to make a cuff, and we're going to make it this direction. And then next week, we're going to use our double points to pick up stitches along the edge of the cuff and work our mitten this direction. So we're going to work it flat first with some circulars. And then next week, you're going to want to make sure you have double points, so that way you can use your double points for the body. Now, could you use like 2 circulars for the body or do a magic loop process? Yes, technically you could. Am I teaching that in this class? No, I am not. I feel like it is very important for you guys to start to learn those double points. It's an important skill. I feel like once you have done that, if you want to venture on and try magic loop or 2 circulars, you absolutely can. But just as I said, I want you to do socks with double points first and then circulars, doing these mittens flat first and then picking up with double points, that'll be a perfect transition into the socks. So, I mean, there's a method to my madness, right? There's a process here that I'm trying to walk you all through as students. So yes, there's some of you out there that are gonna be like, can I make 2 at a time on one needle like magic loop? Technically, yeah, you could. Am I gonna teach you how to do that? No. Could you do 2 at a time where you have 2 needles and you do one over here and one over here? Absolutely. And I highly recommend that. That's the best way to not have like second sock syndrome or second mitten syndrome. You'll make one cuff and then you make the second cuff. And then you do part of your hand on this and do part of your hand on that. So yes, that means you'd have to have 2 sets of needles. If you guys haven't picked up on this already, newsflash, you will start to gather a lot of needles. So having 2 sets of size 7 needles is not a bad thing. Having 2 sets of size 7 DPNs is not a bad thing. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay, so that's that. And then another thing this week, we have a new sponsor, everybody. I don't know if you can read that. Signature Needles.
Mine's bigger. You can see it better.
Hey, nobody likes a bragger, Chrissy. Nobody likes a bragger. All right? Jeez. Can't take her anywhere. All right, so we have Signature Needle Arts are the sponsor for this month's lesson. For these mittens, we are going to use signature needles. Does that mean you have to use them? Absolutely not, but you can use them. I've talked about signature a lot over my entire YouTube career, my career in general. These are like the Ferrari of needles. These are fantastic professional grade needles, essentially. They are some of my favorite needles. You guys know that I love Chaigu and I love Signature. These are the ones I gravitate towards the most, especially in their double points. They're actually some of the only double points I use when I'm making socks or mittens, if I'm being completely honest. I love how pointy they are. I love that I can get them in different lengths because we've already talked about how big my hand is. So a larger needle fits my hand very well. Okay. And these are the 5-inch length. I think they come in 4-inch and 6-inch also. I think they may come in 8 also. I'm not real sure. I love their circular needles. This cord is, this cord is stable and you can see I can turn the needle itself. These needles come in different lengths, so you can get the needles in different lengths. The cords, these are convertible needles. They're not interchangeable, they're convertibles. That means that there are specific cords to each needle. So you could buy one needle, but then you'd have to buy different cords for that needle, and they come in sets for that. You can get these engraved. They're fantastic. And we even have a coupon, which, guys, they never give out a coupon. So if you're going to buy these from the website, make sure you use my coupon, and Chrissy will give it to us here in just a minute. But like literally, they never give out coupons. So the fact that they have honored us and respect me as a teacher, respect you guys as students to give us a coupon code to try this out is a very, very big deal. So I'm going to let Chrissy talk about that, because Chrissy's the one that contacted these lovely ladies over at Signature. They're some good friends of mine. I absolutely adore them. But Chrissy, I'm going to let you take it away. Tell them the story.
Yeah, so Signature is fantastic. They were, as soon as we reached out to them, they were more than happy to jump in and partner with us for this. They are excited. We are excited. Like Marley said, they gave us a discount code, which they never do. The discount code is Marley Knits, all caps, Marley Knits, and that will get you 10% off your purchase. So use that discount code. You want to use it. And like Marley said, I have been so excited. I call them my Siggies, my signature needle, my Siggies. They are literally, Marley said exactly what I was going to say. They're like the Ferrari of knitting needles. Like, I have never felt so professional as I do holding these needles. And tonight, so Signature not only gave us a discount code, but they did another thing that they don't do often, which is they're going to give away a set of their single points. Okay. So this is what their single points look like. These are like the most gorgeous needles ever. So you'll get to choose your length. They come in different lengths, right? So there's like 10, I think it's 10, 12, and 14, something like that. So you'll get to choose your length. You'll get to choose your end. So this is the teardrop end. There's a stiletto and a spiral that you can choose from. So you'll get to choose all that, whoever we pick as a winner tonight. We're just going to pick someone random from the comments tonight. We'll do that a little bit later as we're going along, when we have another pause. But yes, Signature is fantastic. We love them. They have literally been so gracious to us in this process. We're so excited to highlight them for you. And like Marley said, they're just a very professional feeling needle. This is definitely not something that you are, getting at the 99-cent store. Let's put it that way. These are fantastic needles, very high quality. I love that the cord, like the whole needle spins. It's not like it's coming undone. That's the connections all the way up here. So, sometimes you find that they connect down here and you find that snag, but it's connected up here, and the needle itself actually spins on the cord. And like Marley said, they're convertible, not interchangeable, but you can get different cords. So they're beautiful, and we love Signature, and we're so excited to highlight them this month.
And those of you who are wondering, I only buy the stiletto. Like, it just makes life so much easier to have that nice pointy tip, y'all. And especially as we're doing lace today, as you're doing lace and you're doing the yarn overs and the knit to togethers and all that stuff, being able to get into those stitches with that pointy tip makes life so much easier. So I love the stilettos. The 5 and 6 inch needles for the circulars are my favorite lengths. But if you're going to get 16 inch, you have to have a 4-inch needle. Just so you know, it has to be a 4-inch needle to get a 16-inch length. So if you're going to make your, I don't have my circulars in the round. If you're going to make yours in the round, like a hat, like our hat that we made, if you're going to buy signatures for your hat, you've got to get a 4-inch needle. But for the most part, my whole set, I have the 5-inch and 6 inches of all of the sides. I love those. They're my favorite. So yeah, that's Signature. They're giving away a straight set. Or a straight needle.
We're giving a set of straight needles, just one set of straight needles. And they're cool. So gorgeous. They really are.
They are so pretty. And I will tell you guys, those are really awesome to use if you're just like going to be working up a swatch. Remember we talked about how if you're going to do a swatch on something, you want to use the needles you're going to use for your project. If you're using the straights that are the same brand, like especially with Signature, they make some sort of really important machinery sort of stuff. And so the precision of the sizing of the machinery projects or objects that they make is so important that they apply that also to their needles. So all their needles are the exact same size, like down to the millimeter or whatever it is. So using the straights for your swatch, but then using your circulars for your project, I've never had any problem with that. So you could absolutely do that. And they're just so pretty. They're pretty to take Instagram pictures with too, if you ever want to do that.
So pretty. Like the colors are really gorgeous. Like they're all so bright and vibrant. I love them.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so that's signature. That's BiCrafty Champions Workshop. That's the recap of the hat, the cowl. The cowl is listed on Ravelry. If you have not had a chance to add your projects to Ravelry, if you do Ravelry, please go ahead and do that. Same thing with the BiCrafty Champion shawl for the knit or the crochet version. They're both listed on Ravelry. So if you would not mind going over there and saving that as a favorite and then adding the project, that would be great. That helps us. That helps us with recognition from Ravelry. So if you do that, that would be awesome. Other than that, I think I'm ready to jump in. The tricky part here, though, is that there are no written instructions out there right now because Catherine's not here. She doesn't have the thing. So what I think, how do I do this? How do I do this? Because I have the instructions. Hold on a second. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to see if I have the instructions. I'm going to see if I have the instructions in my Google Doc that I can share with everybody until Catherine gets them up. Do you know what I mean?
Here we go.
Let me see if I can do that. Because I might.
Do you want to make it so that I can see the chat for right now while you're doing that?
You should be able to. It's not the chat on. It's not on Zoom. The chat's on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can.
Oh, and Helen Henry is asking what would make you buy the 5-inch or the 6-inch? The 6-inch needles, guys, they just fit my hand really well. I like the 5-inch though equally. I mean,
my name is Tony, and I'm a.
Sorry.
So I buy both. I have big hands. I like the way they fit my hands.
So, and I'm the opposite. I have very tiny hands, so I always get the smaller ones. I have like childlike hands. So I always get the smaller needles.
Okay, let me do this. Here's the thing. We are going to be doing the Whisper Lace Cuff. The Whisper Lace Cuff is what we're going to use for the cuff of our mittens. And that was actually a pattern in the Stash Busting Quickies. So I'm going to make this so that you guys can see this pattern on the Google Docs. And then I will be removing that once it goes on the blog, but I want you guys to be able to see it today. So anyone with the link can view. And copy link and done. All right, so I have that. I'm going to add that to the live in here. I'm going to add it to the video description box. Google Doc link. And then those of you who are watching this on replay, if you go to the description box and you see that it's a blog link, that means that Catherine's got the pattern up on the blog, so you can go to the blog link. But for right now, there is the Google Doc link, so you guys should be able to open that up and follow along with me. There are written instructions and a chart, so both of those will work. Can you all see that? I'm going to make sure you guys can see that. All right, you guys are saying that you're learning so much from these classes. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you guys are learning. Chrissy, can we talk about the lady who did the steeked sweater?
Okay, Tammy. Her name is Tammy.
Her name is Tammy.
Tammy did BiCrafty Bootcamp alongside all of us, okay? Just picked up knitting needles in April. And she did the steeked cardigan. And she didn't just do the steeked cardigan. She rocked the steeked cardigan. I mean, her cardigan is amazing. Yes, look at that. She did that. She's been knitting for
amazing.
4 months.
Yeah. That's amazing. Crazy.
Yeah.
And you guys, steeking, for those of you who have not put it together, she knit this whole thing in the round and then took scissors and cut it right up the middle there and added the button band. So she did steeking, she did cables, she did a thumb hole. See the thumb hole? She did pockets, she changed colors, she did buttonholes. I mean, this is like my gosh, I can't believe you did that. Like, this is so good. She did such a good job. And she just learned to knit.
I'm going to rat out some of our testers. Some of our testers wouldn't do this because they wouldn't steek, okay? There are
Marla.
There are seasoned knitters who are terrified of steeking. Okay. Tammy, you are so impressive.
Yes.
I'm like blown away.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome. I love it. All right. Is everybody able to see that Google Doc? Everybody's got that? All right, cool. So I'm ready to pull my phone around and get everybody started with the provisional cast on. I'm going to pull up my own Google Doc so I can see it, see what everybody else. I see a lot of people in there. That's good. All right. Okay. So this is the Whisper Lace cuff, and this cuff is going to become the cuff of our mitten. And I know that this has a particular gauge. It used a different yarn. We're going to ignore all of that. Okay. Just ignore all that right now. We're going to use the smallest, gosh darn it, I can't even speak. The instructions are all written for the same width. Okay, we're gonna all make the same width. It all depends on how big around you make your cuff. Okay, so you want to make it big enough around to go around your wrist, and you also want to be careful that you don't make it too big because the lace, it's going to stretch a little bit. So even though this pattern says size 4 and all of that, obviously we're using size 7s, we're using worsted weight yarn, but we're still going to make the cuff, the instructions, follow the instructions, and it's going to come out perfect for us. Okay. All right. So let me figure all this out here. Oh, I got to stretch my legs. Turn on my camera. Start my camera. I'm going to have to switch to where they can see all of it. All right, so you are going to need a crochet hook tonight, guys, because we're going to do a provisional cast on, okay? A provisional cast on. And a provisional cast on, it's really, guys, we're going to make a chain, and then in the butt of the chain, we're going to pick up stitches in the butt of the chain. That's what we're going to do. So that way we can undo the chain later and have live stitches. That's how easy this is. It's pretty darn easy stuff. Okay. We're going to be using our straight needles. At first was going to have you start this way, and then I changed my mind. So we're doing it like this. Let's see here.
And these cuffs are gorgeous. I'm so excited.
I hope so. And here's the thing, y'all. If you wanted to have smaller yarn and smaller needles, you can make this cuff for yourself and just make it a cuff. Like, it's a cute little wristlet cuff thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to make my screen as big as I possibly can. So in order to do that, I've got to change my mic over to the other one. So here we go. All right, can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can. Perfect. Put my other mic away. And I'm going to change to speaker view. There we are. All right, so Chrissy, I'm going to have you mute you. All right, I just muted you. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see me. I'm going to make it so that I can still see the chat. Give me just a minute. This is struggles of trying to do everything myself. Someday I'll have like a studio in which that I have people here to help. That would be good. Close that down. There we are. I can see the chat. All right. Cool. Julia put the link in the chat. Thanks, Julia. Okay. So I am going to go ahead. I'm just going to use another thing of yarn to do the provisional cast on. I feel like it's so dark in here today. I don't know why. I had to teach beginner knitters today at Michael's. So I kept telling them about coming over to BiCrafty Bootcamp. That was their little swatch. All right, so provisional cast on using a hook and scrap yarn. Says chain desired amount of stitches. So if we're going to pick up or cast on 21 stitches, that's what we're going to work this over. I want to go ahead and I want to chain more than 21. Okay. And then I also want to make a way so that way I know where the end of my chain is, because we all know if you undo a chain at the wrong end, it's too difficult. But if you do it at the correct end, it just comes out like a zipper. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to chain at least, I'm going to say 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to tie a knot in this end, just so I remember that's the end I finished on. So when I go to undo this later on, I know that that's the end I want to undo this. Does that make sense to everybody? Cool. Pretty easy stuff there. You can put your crochet hook away. Now, this is 25 chains. 21 of these are going to be our cuff. So our cuff is going to be nice and wide. If you guys know anything about me, I love wide cuffs because I hated it when I was a kid and I'd have mittens that were little tiny cuffs and then like snow and stuff gets underneath. Now, the crazy part here is that we're making a cuff that has lace. So what we're going to do is we're making this cuff that has lace. And then when we pick up stitches, we're going to do a little bit of extra stockinette here just to give ourselves a little bit more. So we're going to have a nice big cuff. Okay. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. This is the way I did this. Okay. So we have our chain. We all know what a chain looks like. You can pick up on the back loop, you know what I mean, if you want, but really knitters, they need to have this big old bump back here to understand what's going on. So we're going to do the same thing. Okay. Essentially, just like picking up stitches, we're going to put our needle into that back bump and don't start right at the end. You know what I mean? Because we did 25. So just come where you want. Grab your yarn over and pull up the loop. Go into the back loop of the next one, or the back bump. It's what I call the butt of the stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. If you have trouble doing it this way, you can take your other needle, stick it into the back loop or the back bump or whatever you want to call it. Get some yarn here. So you could stick it in, so that puts that on the needle, and then you just would knit it. Does that make sense? It just gives you a little bit more leverage. But I don't need that. I usually just stick my needle in and just go through. So for our instructions, we want to do 21. Y'all with that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so there's 21. Now, some of you might be wondering, like, what's the point of doing a provisional cast on? Doing a provisional cast on, say that you did it and you didn't take this out later on. It leaves a nice, really pretty edge right there, right? It makes it pretty easy. But really, the benefit of this is as I start knitting along and I finish up whatever, I can undo my chain, like unzip it, and it's going to leave live stitches down here that I can then go back, put on a needle and work like an edging in this direction. Or I have live stitches to graft to, so say you make this as a cuff and you come up to the end, you have live stitches over here on your needle here that you're working on. you have stitches over here that you unzip. So you have live stitches over here, and it's easy to graft them together to make them look seamless. So that's the benefit of a provisional cast on. Okay. It's used quite a bit. It's actually one of those things that it's just really handy. You'll find a lot of different uses, guys, for chains. Like if you're working on a sweater, like what Tammy did, we did a cast on for under the underarm part, but she could have done a chain and picked up stitches and then had, you know, a really nice edge right here to pick up from to seam things later. There's lots of options or uses for a provisional cast on. And as crocheters who are now knitters, there are areas where you'd be like, well, I don't know why I just don't use a chain. And you do. And it's just, you just throw it in there because it's easy. Okay. All right. So now we have our stitches cast on there. They are picked up. Everything looks really good. When this is all done, we'll unravel the chain and we will do some Kitchener stitching. But we are going to go ahead and get started. Now, this first row, is it a knit row? Is it a purl row? Or I mean, is it right side? Is it wrong side? I'm going to say that this is a wrong side. I'm struggling with myself here. Because if it's a wrong side, I'm going to turn and that's going to put these little purl bumps. I think I'm all right. All right. I'm going to just leave it at that. So we're going to turn this right side that we're going to do here. This is going to be row 1. And that's the right side of our fabric. So as you're reading the instructions, those of you who are looking, I don't know if you can see my highlight as I highlight this, but right here where it says lace arrow, worked over 21 stitches, this is what we're going to be doing. The same thing is represented right down here in this chart. Okay, so we've never really talked about charts before, so this is a good opportunity to do so. As you guys are looking at the pattern, it'll be really good for you to not only look at the stitch pattern instructions, but look at the chart to see how this works. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is the direction of these like lopsided T's. Those are decreases. And the way the T is lopsided, so think of the top of the T is the top hat, right? Kind of like when you're looking at crochet diagrams. The top of the T leans in the direction that your stitch is going to lean once it's completed. Another way to think of that is this. I want you to think about this. So looking at this first one here, you guys see that? That's a knit 2 together. So the stitch looks like a T, looks like the top of the T is pointing to the top right corner of that square. I want you to look at my needles now and pay attention to my right hand needle. As I do a knit 2 together, obviously we're not in pattern yet, but as I do a knit 2 together, where I'm just knitting 2 stitches together, what direction is my right hand needle going? It's going like, if this were a square, it's pointing in the same direction as the top hat of that T, right? So for me, when I look at symbols like that, if I see a symbol that looks like this, I know I'm doing a knit 2 together because my right hand needle is going to be going like that. For the other one, it's a SKP, it's a slip knit purl, or is that what they're, I can say there. We're going to call it an SSK real quick, okay? You slip one as if to knit, you slip one as if to knit, take your left hand needle, you put it into the front leg of those 2 needles, and you would knit it. Which direction is my right hand needle pointing? Towards the left side, right? And this stitch is going to lean to the left. My knit 2 together leans to the right. My SSK or my SKP leans to the left. So it's a left leaning cable. So if you have trouble kind of remembering what the stitch, okay, if you have trouble remembering what the symbol means, kind of think about the direction of your right hand needle is like the top of that stitch symbol, but it also represents the direction your stitch is going to be when it's all done, because a knit 2 together leans to the right and a slip knit or an SKP leans to the left. Does that make sense? Chrissy, does that make sense? Okay, she's nodding her head, everybody. Okay. As far as anything else in that chart, when you look at that big circle, that's a yarn over. We know what yarn overs are, right? We know how to create those. And the rest of it is just a purl or a knit. So pretty simple stuff. The only one there you might not know is the SK2 together P, but we will go over that when we get to it. All right, so that's a slip one knitwise, knit two together, pass slip stitch over. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're going to dive in. Row one. So row one, we're looking at 3 squares that are blank on the right side. So it's knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Just so you guys know, these knit 2 here are going to be in garter stitch throughout. And these last 2 are going to be in garter stitch throughout. So you knit 3 and then we yarn over. So yarn forward between our needles, up over top of our right hand needle, back to the back. I like to hold that in place. And now I have to do a knit 2 together. So these 2 stitches, I'm going to knit them together. Now I'm going to purl 2. So I bring my yarn forward, purl 1, purl 2. And now I have a yarn over. So my yarn's already forward. So I bring my yarn up over top to the back. And I have to pay attention to what the next stitch is, which is an SKP. So I'm going to hold that yarn over, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And we're going to do the SKP, which is this. This is a decrease. If you wanted to do a slip knit, you could, but here we go. You're going to slip one. I'm going to slip one knitwise. I'm going to knit 1 stitch, and then I'm going to pass that slip stitch over. See how that stitch looks like it leans to the left? That's a SKP. If you wanted to do a slip knit, you could do that. Totally up to you. Make sure you have your yarn over there. Okay. And we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to knit 2 together. Yarn over. So yarn forward, up over top of my right hand needle. And the next stitch is a purl. So this is really important, y'all. Let me get some more yarn. So my yarn came forward, up over top of my right hand needle. My next stitch is a purl. So I have to bring my yarn back between my needles, back forward. You see, so I have a full round around my right hand needle. I'm going to show that one more time. This was my knit 2 together. Bring my yarn in front of my needles, up over top of my right hand needle, hold my yarn over in place, bring my yarn back between my needles to the front. And now I will purl 2 stitches. I have to knit, so between my needles, knit 1, yarn over in front, over top, back to the back, and I have a knit 2 together. And then knit 2, knit 1, knit 2. Voila, that's number 1. Now, for this particular pattern, on the wrong side rows, we still are going to do our lace on the wrong side. So we're taking it up a notch, guys. It isn't just knit your knits, purl your purls. We have actual stitches we have to do on the wrong side. I see a question in the chat. Somebody's asking about the pattern in the PDF, not the PDF, but the doc. It says size 4 needles. I mentioned this earlier. Disregard all the materials written in this doc. You're not going to use this doc after this. We're going to put the actual instructions in a blog post. You're more concerned about the stitch pattern, the chart, the abbreviations, and all that. Don't pay any attention to the materials or the gauge or anything. Okay. All right. I'm using size 7s. Okay. All right. So I'm on the wrong side. Turn my work. If you're reading the chart, you'll notice there's a number 2 on the second row on the left-hand side. That lets you know you're supposed to read the chart from left to right. Row 1 was from right to left. Row 2 is from left to right. Starts off with 3 dash marks, which are knits on the wrong side. Awesome. We know that just means we're going to do some garter stitch down here. So I'm going to knit 3. Yarn over, so I yarn forward, over top of my needle, back to the back. And now I'm going to do an SK, no, yes, this is SKP. So I slip one as if to knit, knit 1, pass my slip stitch over. Then I'm going to knit 2. And these are blank on the wrong side, so I'm going to purl 7. I yarn over now. Actually, no, I knit 3. So knit 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, so yarn forward, over top of my right hand needle, back to the back. I do another SKP. So I slip one as if to knit 1 stitch, pass the slip stitch over like a bind off, and then I knit 2. Okay. Turn your work. I'm gonna get myself some yarn here. Give you guys a second to catch up. It's a little tricky with lace on the wrong side, but I think it makes the pattern look good. So, sorry, not sorry. Okay, here we go. We are on row 3. So we're gonna start off with knit 3. Yarn over, so bring my yarn between my needles, up over top of our right hand needle, back to the back. And now I do a knit 2 together. This is where having the pointed needles comes really handy because it's easier to get into that stitch to get the knit 2 together. Okay, then I purl 2. Knit 1. Yarn over, so yarn forward, up over top of my right hand needle, back to the back. Then I do a knit, this is an SKP. Slip 1 as if to knit 1, slip the pass stitch, or pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 2. Turn your work. This row is just like the previous wrong side. Knit 3. Yarn over, SKP, going a little bit faster now. Knit 2, purl 7, knit 3, SKP, knit 2. We're on row 5. This one is where we're going to do an SK2 tog P. All it means is we're going to be doing a double decrease up here. So far, I don't know if you guys can see on yours, right here in the center, it looks like it's starting to create the triangle, right? Very similar to what you did on your hat. The ones that were the SKPs, they look like they're leaning to the left. The ones that are knit together, they look like they lean to the right. So if you look up here on either side of these two yarn overs, we have 3 stitches. So we're going to turn these 3 stitches to 1. So this is where we're going to do an SK2 tog P. It's essentially, we're going to take these 3 stitches and make them into 1. Okay. Now, as you're doing lace like this, I want to remind everybody, you want to make sure you have the same number of yarn overs as you have decreases. So what you're going to notice is when we do the decrease over these 3 stitches, there's going to be yarn over on either side. So we're going to eliminate 1 stitch, that yarn over is going to take its place. We're going to eliminate another stitch, the yarn over is going to take its place. So we're going to have the same stitch count. Okay. Here we go. I just tell you guys how nice it is to be able to hold my yarn in my left hand as I'm knitting, because I usually have to hold it in my right when I teach. All right, so we're on row 5. So we knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, purl 2, knit 2. Here we go. I want to make sure everybody's ready. Everybody ready? Yarn over, slip 1 knitwise, knit 2 together, pass the slipped one over. So the knit 2 together got rid of 1, the pass slip stitch over gets rid of the other. So we're left with 1 stitch. Okay, then we have a yarn over and knit 2, right? Is that knit 2? I got to scroll back down. Then it's purl 2, knit 1. Hold on, I did something wrong. I'm just thinking back. So there's my decrease, yarn over, knit 2. Did I miss a yarn over before, guys? And then purl 2. I must have missed a yarn. Did I miss a yarn over on the previous row? We're going to see here. That's what I get for doing this late at night. I don't think I did. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, purl 2, knit 2, yarn over, SK2 tog P, yarn over, and it should be knit 2, and then purl 2, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together. I'm coming up a stitch short, so something's not right for me. Did I not do a yarn over down below? Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This would be 20. I'm a stitch short. Where did I lose a stitch? What didn't I do over here? So I have my yarn overs all in place. There's that one. There's that one. Oh, I'm missing one. Right there, right? I'm missing a yarn over. I'm not going to undo my work to find it. Actually, yes, I am. That's going to drive me nuts. So I'm just going to undo my work. I'm going to go to the previous row, maybe the one before that too. It's okay. No big deal. This is where if you guys wanted to use a lifeline, if you're not comfortable just tinking, but obviously you can see, you'll find out quickly if you were one short somewhere. So I was short either the row before or the row before that. So I'm going to tink. This is a good time, Chrissy. for you to do a giveaway if you want. I'm going to go to gallery view. I'm just going to tink back, y'all, to find.
That's okay. I've already undone mine twice. So
of course.
You're fine, because I get so enthralled with what you're doing that I can't pay attention. So I get excited.
Well, obviously I can't read and knit and do everything at the same time.
No, you know
for
what?
whatever reason.
Yeah, I can't imagine why that's hard. Okay, so I am going to, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. So, since it's going to be comments, I want you guys to comment for me, what your favorite stitch sequence we've done so far has been. So we've done a lot, right? Between the mug rugs, the ribbing that we've worked on, our cowl had a ton of different stitches. Our hat had a ton of different stitches. So just comment your favorite. And again, as we say every time, this is just what I'm going to see. It may be different than what you see. I don't know why that is, but tell me what your favorite stitches that we've done in boot camp so far, and I am going to pick a winner. I'm looking at the live YouTube comments. So
yeah, this is only available to those of you who are watching live. Sorry, those of you who are catching the replay. Don't worry, we have giveaways for you too at different times.
Yes,
but I do want to make sure you're aware.
Yeah, I always try to split it up and do them in the Marley's Minions Facebook group, that when I can't be live, and do them over here live as well. So, okay, they're starting to come in now. I'm gonna close my eyes and
I
just
ripped all the way back to like I'm starting row 3.
I've done it 3 times. 3 times literally since we've begun. All right, I'm pulling up.
All right, I'm back to 21.
I'm trying to go. All right, hold on. Okay.
You do your thing. I'm just going to work through row 3.
No, you're fine. I see. Oh, they're going too fast. I can't even stop before I see them. I'm just going to slide up here really quick. And I'm picking Cindy Johnson. Cindy Johnson loved the Latvian braid. Cindy was the one that I dropped. I loved the Latvian braid too. And I'm telling you, I had several people. Let me comment in here, Cindy, what you need to do. I had several people in here or in the Marley's Minions group comment and say like that they had been knitting and they've never done it. So, you know, and it feels like such a fancy stitch, and it really wasn't that hard.
It's just purling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just purling. It's just you guys are holding your floats on the front and you're twisting them as you go.
I'm just letting Cindy know what she's got to do. Email me. MarleyBird.com.
Oh, I got off again. I can't talk and do this. Apparently.
I have to say this because this is, I was doing some work on the BiCrafty Games Championship stuff, and this email came up and I thought it was the cutest ever, and you're here tonight. So if X equals Y, I just have to let you know how much your email address made me smile. And it's your YouTube name too. That just like makes me smile. So there's someone, Marley, their username is if the letter X equals WHY. And I just, for some reason, I've seen it like 3 times in the past 2 days, and it makes me smile each time I see it. So whoever you are, your username is so cute. I think it's adorable. It makes me think you're a math teacher, and I could totally be wrong, but like I picture you being a math teacher. I could be wrong.
All right, so I'm not going to talk here for a minute.
No, you're fine. Take your time. I'm looking through the comments. Everyone's saying congratulations to Cindy. I love you guys so much because everybody's always so excited for whoever wins. Like, you guys are always just so supportive of each other, and I love that. All right, everyone's saying, I'm waiting to see if X equals Y tells me who they are and confirms that they're a math teacher. We have a really severe delay on our end, guys, and that's why sometimes it takes a minute for us to see what you're commenting because there's a huge delay. But I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting for you.
Oh,
And
I made it to the end of the row, and I have the
it.
right number of stitches. Now let's see if I have the right count.
I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Oh, there we
I
go.
have 21. Woohoo! Okay,
Woohoo, we
now
made it.
I'm gonna move on to the wrong side. So I'm doing row 4 again. Pay no attention to me. I'm just gonna do
Pay
row
no
4
attention
again.
to the woman behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, the comments like stopped. I don't know. Oh no, here they come. Here they come. Here they come. Sometimes YouTube is mean to us and the comments take forever to come through. A lot of you loved the Latvian braid. Me too. It really just adds this like dimensional layer of design to it. Like I just love it. Christy liked the extra credit. I liked it too. I did. The long slip. That was really nice too. Oh, Marley, Renee Williams said, you know, I'm not disappointed that you had a drop stitch because this made me feel normal. Sorry it happened, but I feel more comfortable. Hey, I'm with you, Renee. As Marley's flying along and I'm sitting here like, I got to start over again.
No, but you saw me, I had to do it twice. You know what? I must have missed a yarn over somewhere. And I thought for sure I had them all. But you guys saw that. Like, it's just, you can catch yourself real fast and just tink back.
Yeah,
and then work it through again. And like right now I'm going to count 4, 6, 8, 10.
And
12,
don't underestimate
14, 16, 18,
the
21.
tinking because sometimes I didn't use a lifeline at all, which I'm also not promoting because I had to take my hat apart like 3 times. But I did like that I was able to just tink back when I needed to.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm doing row 5 again.
Sandy agrees with Renee that you're making her normal. Jennifer said, I can't wait until I get to the braid. I'm a bit behind. Take your time, Jennifer. No rush. Not a race. You'll get there and you'll be so excited that you can do it. For me, what was the hardest for you guys? For me, you can see on my hat that literally this colorwork, the stranded colorwork section is so much tighter than everything else because I was like gripping with claws, working with both fingers. It was working with both hands was such a challenge for me. I was like gripping it like super tight and so frustrated, but it's my favorite part though. That's my favorite part of my hat. Like, I just love the way that it looks. So you'll get there. You'll do it.
So Jan says that on row 3, I missed my last yarn over before I knit 2 together. Well, thanks, Jan. Where were you when I did it? I'm just joking.
Rounds ago.
Way to be late to the party, Jan. Just joking. No, so I'm good now. I just finished row 5.
Okay, good, good. We're good.
And then obviously the next row is just a wrong side row, which is just like what we doing before. And then you just repeat these 6 rows, guys. It's really quite simple. And honestly, after you get past about 2 repeats, you start to see the pattern and it becomes very rhythmic. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do row 6 here real quick because it's pretty simple. Knit 3, yarn over, slip, knit, pass, slip stitch over, knit 2, purl 2, no, purl 7. And you'll see this works out really well because we have these nice little triangles, which will go inside really great with our hat with all the little triangles. I mean, how perfect is that?
Yeah, we weren't even anticipating that. That's going to be so perfect.
That's perfect. All right, so here we are. It's like we're taking a little bit of this triangle bit. We have you're going to have some really cool, it's going to look like twisted fencing. You know what I mean? Like chain links. It's going to look like that over here. And when this is all done, we will take this out. We'll graft it together. Again, this is a large cuff. Okay. I like that. I like that.
I'm pumped about that.
And then we will pick up stitches along the edge here to work in the round for the body of our mitten, not the hat. Well, you could do this for a hat too, y'all, if you wanted to, but obviously you'd want this smaller because this size of a, like, that'd be really big. You could do that for, ooh, you could do this and you could make a headband. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Just a headband. That'd be really cool. The possibilities are endless.
Always.
But hopefully this makes sense. And as I said, Catherine will be taking these instructions and adding them to our blog post that we usually have up for lesson 15. Catherine's been a little bit under the weather. So we're giving her, hold on. We're giving her a little grace here as she's battling just a summer cold and getting through things. Guys, I know what it's like when I'm sick and I have to work. Like I hate that. Like you will not find me working when I'm sick. I'm not going to do it. I refuse because then I never get healthy. I've learned over the years that if I'm sick, I need to just be sick and go down and out, and I get done with the sickness much faster if I do it that way. So I'm allowing her a little bit of the grace also. Plus, truth be told, I didn't give this to her until like right now. So how is she supposed to do it if I don't give it to her? I've just been a little crazy, y'all. Been a little crazy. Like I said, I was going to do it to where y'all started with double points and you started with ribbing this way. And then Christy's like, well, we said straight. So I was like, because I forgot I was going to do it the cuff straight. And so then when I was on vacation last week, and I use that term loosely because it was vacation, but it wasn't. I was the only adult with 7 teenagers. So it was a little bit rough, but I was working on this. You guys probably saw it on Instagram. I was knitting along on this. And then I remembered this and I was like, ooh, this would be great. So I changed it on the fly because it's what I do. Because poor Chrissy, poor Catherine, poor Meg.
It's so gorgeous. Like this cup is going to be so pretty. And like you said, it's so exciting that the triangles are going to go with our hat. It's really coming together.
Yeah. And you guys, this is a little bit tricky. Like this is a little bit more advanced, y'all, because it's not just the lace stitches that you guys have done on your hat, but we're doing lace stitches on the wrong side also. So it's really, I mean, you saw me, I messed up. I mean, in the first 6 rows, I messed up. So, give yourself a little bit of grace, get through it, add your lifelines, and you have a whole week to do this. Now, here's the kicker. I would make one, and then I would turn around and I would go ahead and make your second cuff. If you don't have 2 needles with you, that's okay. Just put a lifeline through your live stitches and take them off your needle and set them aside, and then use your needles for your second cuff. And then you'll have 2 cuffs going along the same way. Okay, so that way you can work on both cuffs, and at the end of the whole project, you'll have both mittens completed, and it'll be really great. You definitely want to get DPNs for the next part when we start to the hand. Okay, so you want to have DPNs, y'all, because I keep showing you the tube. This is the tube they come in when you get them from Signature. So I like to use 5 DPNs. I don't just use 4, and I will explain why I use 5 when we get to that part. But long story short is you have a better chance of not getting a run in your stitches if you use 5 versus 4. So you want to make sure whatever you do end up getting, you want to have 5. I know if you buy your DPNs at a big box store, guys, they come in sets of 4, so you'll have to buy 2 sets, so that way you get 5. I prefer that. You're going to want these. They're much easier to work with, I think, especially now that we're going to be adding them to something that had a little bit more substantial with some fabric to it. But it'll be easier like when we're working on the thumb, because the thumb, we're going to make mittens. We're not making gloves. We're making mittens, but we will have to make a place for our thumb to go into. So you will be working on a little tiny circumference right there when we get to that point. So you definitely want to do these. So here is the question. Everybody loves the Latvian braid, which is really cool. And coincidentally, we could add a Latvian braid to this, like next week. We could pick up stitches and then do a Latvian braid around the cuff of this. So that way it would sort of not matchy, but be complementary to our hat. So not only would we have that nice little sort of lace stitch in the cuff itself, but we could add a Latvian braid down here, and that would be kind of really pretty. So that is something that we can do. And I'm interested if that's something you want to do. So that's going to be your question for this week here, to leave a comment here on this video. We'll pick a winner next week to get a free pattern from marleybird.com. So Chrissy, you'll remember that because I will forget. You know I will forget. They will get a free pattern. So we'll randomly select somebody who leaves a comment in the video comments. So not just the live chat here, guys. So in the live chat, if you guys are saying yes, 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 I love that, great, I'm happy. But make sure you leave a comment on the video. So make sure you give that thumbs up and then leave a comment on the video. And that will enter you for a chance to win a free pattern from marleybird.com. All right, guys. So that is your big question for this week. Congratulations to, did you say it was Cindy who won the signature needles?
Cindy Johnston.
Swindy.
Swindy.
Cindy. That is a very, very cool prize. I hope you love it. Everybody out there, if you're going to go grab yourself some signatures from signature.com, do not, it's not signature.com, it's signatureneedlearts.com. I've put a link in the video description box. If you click that, guys, that actually lets them know I sent you. So that would be a really good thing if you click the link in the video description box. But make sure you use the coupon code for 10% off. Marley Knits.
Marley Knits. I'm going to put it right here in the 5 minutes.
All capital letters. It's very important you use all capital letters, and you get 10% off your order. You guys saw when I did the organization stuff with Lindsay that we counted my signature needles. I have 201, and I will let you guys know that out of those 201, maybe like 180 of them are ones I purchased. So this is not just, hey, they gave me 201 needles. I've put my hard-earned money behind these needles. Like I can't say enough good things, you guys. The owner of the company is wonderful. I did a podcast with her couple years ago. If you want to go back and listen to it here on YouTube, you can do that. I love the owner. I love the marketing team. I just think they're wonderful people. They're American made stuff based out of Wisconsin. I think it's Kenosha, Wisconsin. So when you're supporting them, you're supporting American made. They're just amazing people. I really like them a lot. And I love their needles. So that's no bones about it. I love their needles. I think they're great. Looks like a lot of you are wanting the Latvian braids. So I'm having a feeling that's going to be a thing next week. We're going to do the Latvian braid. So what will probably happen is we'll pick up stitches and we will immediately go into that purl round with the 2 colors and then do the Latvian braid and then jump into what the next part will be. Which, I mean, for me, whenever I do Latvian braid, of course, I want the next part to be color work because I love that. I think that's pretty. You know, the whole pattern could be color work. We could do color work mittens, which makes them nice and dense. However, Chrissy, you're going to have to loosen up a little bit. You can't have your mittens like super tight like that. Otherwise, you'll have this really loose cuff and really tight mittens. Like you're going to have to be careful with that.
And yarn burn on both.
Yeah. The hardest part for me, though, is with double points and color work. That doesn't get along. Color work and double points I don't like. So usually if I'm going to do color work on a piece like this, that's when I use 2 circulars. So I'll probably shy away from color work for these mittens, but that does not mean that I won't write another pattern with some color work that maybe we could make with 2 double points, or not 2 double points, 2 circulars.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an idea. So here's an idea, y'all. If you buy like 2 sets of circulars to do the cuff, then all of a sudden you'll be set when we do 2 sets of circulars like in the round, because you work on 2 circulars so that they're on either half of the piece. It'll put you right on par, ready to go. Just throwing that out there because, you know, got nothing else to do. So, why not? I know, got all this stuff to do. I just got the order today for the Joann's Stitch Along this fall with Yarnspiration. So we got that happening. I'm helping with the knit version of what we're doing. As you guys know, Mikey over at the Crochet Crowd, he's doing the crochet version. So we just found out that all of that's due at the end of the month. Yay. And then I know, then of course the BiCrafty Champions workshop, like I'm working on that, making sure all that stuff is ready to go. And then you guys don't know this, but we are going to be doing a Christmas in July stocking possibly next weekend. It should be announced here very shortly. I was actually supposed to have a phone call today with Brianna and I forgot. I just plain forgot. Guys, I forgot a lot this week. It has been it's been rough.
It's been a week.
It's been a rough week. Like I forgot a lot. So I forgot my phone call today with Brianna Kemper from Brianna K Designs. She's doing the crochet stocking. I'm doing the knit stocking. My stocking, it's right over there. Actually, it's half done. It was the other thing I was working on when I was in Colorado. So I got to finish that up so you guys can work on that next weekend. So that's a whole nother thing I'm doing. So on top of the BiCrafty workshop, the BiCrafty Champions workshop shawl pattern that you guys will get if you join the BiCrafty Champion. That's a long word. BiCrafty Champions workshop. Been using BiCrafty a lot lately, which is really great because it's becoming regular in my vocabulary. But I use like everything is BiCrafty right now. I'm like BiCrafty. To which some people are like, does it have knit and crochet in the whole thing? And it's like, no, it's that they're both there. You can do either one.
Right.
But so the same thing for this mystery make along for the stocking. You know, it's a stocking. You just don't know what it is. All those details will be coming out next week. So that way we're going to do it next weekend. And I'm using DK weight yarn. But I think you'd probably be able to do it with a worsted weight if you want.
I'm personally really excited because we moved into our new house last year and I've wanted to make my own stockings for years. So I'm going to make one for me and for my husband.
Yeah. And I never go with like super traditional colors. So I'll show you guys the colors. Like I'm using this color and this color.
Ooh.
So, I mean, that's kind of traditional. This one's kind of a teal. And then this is more the body. I don't want to bring the whole piece up. This is like so those are my colors. But then I have a backup to where I also grabbed this color if I wanted to throw in. And I also have this color. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so I was like, because at first I was going to go this route. I thought that would make a really pretty piece.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I was going to go this.
Oh yeah,
make it very cool and kind of non-traditional-esque. But you can see this is the yarn that we chose. I'm giving you guys you guys are getting total like
privileged information, right?
So this is the yarn that we are both using. City Tweed DK weight. We'll put a link. I'll make sure to give Catherine because we have an affiliate link for Knit Picks yarn. So if you use that and you buy the yarn, it does not cost you anything more, but I get paid for sending you guys to them also. I love this. Like I haven't got to use a lot of Knit Picks yarn over the last 6 years. And now that I can, really, really like this. I really like this. I like this a lot. It's very nice. Do you have to use this yarn? No, you don't have to. But this is the yarn we used for our stockings. So
Stephanie Menifee said, "Do you sleep, Marley?" No, she doesn't.
I did. I took a nap today. I could not keep my eyes open after Robin left. Robin got done so quickly today with her courses. She did 3 classes a day, super fast. And that's all she needed to do to finish them up. But she got done by like 12:30 because that's when I had to sign in for Michael's and she was done. So I had to give her a hug and she left. So she was gone. So when I finished my Michael's class today at 2, I was like, I'm exhausted. And I just went upstairs and crawled into bed and I woke up with like a puddle of slobber. You guys, like it was like I was out cold about 5 o'clock. So I went to bed about 2-ish and woke up at 5, like it was just slobber. And I'm like, oh, I gotta get up. So yes, I sleep. I just don't sleep a lot. And thank God for all of my testers. Yeah. Thank God for all my testers and my contractors and for Chrissy guys for keeping me in order. Cause half the time I think she thinks I'm crazy because she's like, don't forget. And it's almost like, I know you're going to forget, but I'm going to be really nice and make sure that I tell you because I don't want you to forget. Because I forget things, guys. And I feel awful because I forget. But anyways, I wouldn't be able to.
You got a lot in your mind.
Yeah. The Bernie mitts. How about the Bernie mittens? Could you make those? Is that what you're asking me? You could make those. I made those. I have an entire pattern for it's I call them the getting warm, getting hot in here. Like getting hot in here, getting warm in here.
Well, what? It was something like that. Hold on. I gotta look it up.
Because I tried to play on the whole feel the burn.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyways, I have a crochet pair and a knit pair of the Bernie mittens pattern. If you want to make those, you absolutely can. They're super adorable. And I used Peyton's classic wool for that pattern. I don't know if I have the sample over here that I did on camera. That's the one I did on camera. Obviously, these are not the color of Bernie's mittens.
Feel the heat.
Feel the heat. Yeah.
Feel the heat.
Which was my play on feel the burn. And
Yeah.
See, I didn't even tuck in my ends on these guys. Like this was my sample. Because I was like, I'm never gonna wear these, right? I was like, these are the ones I made, because there's a whole video support for it. If you guys want to watch it, you can. But this is the mitten I made for the Feel the Heat. And you'll notice it doesn't have the thing here because I showed you how to do duplicate stitch. So you could do this very easily and then go back and duplicate stitch in here some major details. And it just makes life so much easier to not have to do all these detailed color changes. But I have knit ones and crochet ones. If you want that pattern, it's available. It's free on my website. You can purchase the ad-free PDF, but then there's also video support here on YouTube. You could absolutely make Feel the Heat. There's also mittens I made last year. Gosh, were you working for me then, Chrissy? I think you were, when we did the knit and crochet mittens. It was a knit along, crochet along towards late fall.
No, I think it was right before.
Okay, so let me see if I can find.
Or was it right? Let me see.
I have video support for it, but and there's left-handed and right-handed video support. And this is the crochet, because they were crochet and knit. Sorry, I can't all of a sudden find my Zoom to share screen.
Oh, it was the 3-in-1 hand warmers, right?
Yeah, the 3-in-1 hand warmers.
So
like,
was.
This is
So
the cover.
Yes.
Okay, so this was the cover for the crochet version. So obviously the blue ones here, guys, those were the crochet ones. So you could do fingerless mitts, mittens, or convertible mittens. And then we had the knit ones here were the pink and red. But you could follow along with those instructions too if you wanted to make either one of those. You're more than welcome to. And those, I think I used DPNs for those. And I warned people just to make sure they don't make them too tight also. But so I have mitten instructions out here. I also did a full mittens course called Mittens and Gloves Galore for Craftsy way back in the day. So if you are a Craftsy member, you can watch that class. Actually, you'll find that this lace cuff was used on one of those mittens in that course because I liked it so much. So if you're interested, you could always watch that also. Convertible mittens are great. Yeah, the 3-in-1 mittens. Yep. Yeah. So there's a lot of options out there for you if you like my teaching style. I mean, all the classes are very similar to one another because, you know, I get in a rhythm of how I teach things. So if you like it, that's a great way to go. But kind of getting back to these instructions right now, you can follow along with the stitch pattern, the chart, the notes, the abbreviations on the Whisper Lace Cuff pattern. But Catherine will be taking these instructions and putting them on the website as part one of the BiCrafty community mittens. And it will actually have the correct materials. So the size 7 needles, the circular needles that you will need, the DPNs you'll need, the chic sheep if you're using that, or whatever yarn matches your hat and cowl, 2 colors, because if we're going to do, I'm guessing we're going to do the Latvian braid. Everybody is saying they love it. So I'm guessing, I'm just going to assume, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we're probably going to do it. So you're going to want to have the 2 colors again. But as far as color work in the actual mitten, I don't know if I'll do it. You know what I would like to do? Actually, Chrissy, you know what I would like to do? I would like to make the mittens one color, make them very simple to use DPNs and do the gusset thumb and everything, and then go back and do duplicate stitch with the opposite color. So then you could learn how to do duplicate stitch, but it's also a great way to add color without all the stress.
Yeah.
Then they're learning a whole new thing. I like that idea. I might be going with that idea, people, because I really like that idea. And it'll be easier on you also, but it's not easier in that you're not getting something out of it. There's a whole new skill set you're getting there. We're also going to do a different decrease at the top. We're going to do a different decrease, and we're also going to learn how to Kitchener stitch, which is a big deal. Both the top of the mitten and the cuff. So you're going to learn how to do kits. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot here.
I'm excited.
Jan is asking, can I use Chic Sheet for the BiCrafty Games workshop?
Internal dilemma.
So here's the problem is the pattern is written for a fingering weight yarn. So the gauge is a very tiny gauge. I mean, we use size 5 needles. So technically, could you use Chic Sheep and get that gauge? Yes. Would you be happy with the ultimate fabric? Probably not for a shawl. If it were for like socks, yeah, probably you would, because actually I used size 5 needles and Chic Sheet for socks because I like the nice dense fabric because they're socks. But for a shawl, you want a nice flowy fabric. So the pattern would make your shawl way too big if you're using Chic Sheep and the same numbers I am. And given all the stitch patterns and stitch counts and such, you'd have to do a lot of math to change things up. So the long and short of it is technically, yes, you could use it and just use a bigger needle and just not care about the size. You totally could. But if you want it to be like the sample, I would not go any larger than a sport weight or a DK weight. Because then that's going to be just a little bit bigger than the sample, not like larger like the worsted weight is. But ideally you want to use fingering weight, and it's 10 colors. It's a lot of colors. All the details, when you get the workshop, there's a materials list written in the workshop. We aren't given a materials list out beforehand. I can't remember why we decided not to do that, but the materials list is when you buy the workshop, there's a materials list that you can download immediately so that you can go get your stuff. You can buy the boxes. So there's only the international box left, which is really pretty, which is what I'm making my sample out of. If you go to erinlanebags.com or destinationyarn.com, both of them have some boxes left. There's not a whole lot left though, guys. So if you're going to get them, I recommend getting them sooner rather than later, especially because you want to get them before the Olympics start. And again, you do not have to watch the Olympics to be a part of this at all. You don't even have to like do the whole workshop during the Olympics. You could hold off and do it later. Totally up to you. It's all going to be there. It's all going to be available to you. I talked briefly about a Craftsy class. It's kind of set up like that, you guys. It's like a Craftsy class, but it's not Craftsy. It's me. It's my own stuff. It's a lot of the way I'm going to be transitioning to doing a lot of teaching versus traveling and doing in-person stuff. That will be very far and few between. So if that ever does happen again, we will be sure to let you guys know so that you guys can get in and see if you ever want to do maybe a retreat or something with me. But for the most part, I don't plan on teaching in person for the foreseeable future. I'm moving more towards these types of workshops and such. It's more financially feasible for all of us to do it that way, because you guys don't have to pay for travel, for home. You don't have to pay for me to get out there, my travel and stay, like all that. It's much more economical to do things this way. Plus, I have a lot of control of what content gets given out to you guys and what kind of quality it's in. And I appreciate that, because I mean, you guys believe it or not, I try and keep things pretty high quality. Timing is hard for me. 8 o'clock obviously is difficult for me. Any sort of time frame stuff is very hard for me. So I try and have stuff ahead of time for workshops. Like we have that stuff done, so that way you're ready to go with it. But yeah, that's the route we're going. Okay. Any other questions? We've been on here a while. It's been a minute. In all the good ways. I'm curious how many of you are working on your stitch pattern right now. How's it going? Your whisper lace cuffs. This is the lace arrow version, the lace arrow of the whisper lace cuffs.
They're so like, I'm so excited to see them Like they're going to be so pretty.
I think what's going to be interesting is how many of you do the provisional cast on. You're be like, I had no idea I could do this, like with crochet and knitting, like it's so easy. And the thing is, guys, like there's other provisional cast ons where you actually crochet over your hook so that it leaves a loop on your hook that you then go back to and knit into, which is fine. But I've always found that you just crochet the chain and just work into the chain. I mean, I'm like, come on, people, this does not have to be this difficult.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But crocheters or knitters, I mean, they struggle with it. Donna G says she's going to crochet the workshop. Cindy Gold says that her cuff is coming out very nice. Donna says she's working on hers. It's coming out slow. That's okay, Donna. Slow and steady wins the race. It's totally fine. Sylvie says that she stopped at row 3. Good for you, because that's the row that I obviously messed up on. Marian says that she is still doing the hat. That's okay. My hat is done. I actually put my hat on a really pretty hat stand, and I have it. It's over there. I was going to take a picture with it next to the cowl so that I can publish that pattern eventually. I mean, I have the Tournament of Stitches to publish. I have these patterns. I have so many patterns to publish. I just need to get them done. I need a second to breathe to get them done. Sylvie says that she had to redo it twice. You're in good company. Absolutely good company. Donna says that she's going to replay it later. And Julia says she's currently working on the steeked cardigan. Good for you. I have my steeked cardigan too. It's in the other room. I am halfway through the yoke. So I still have the rest of the yoke to do. And then, I mean, I practically have a full sweater to do. But I want to do it because my husband is having us go to a Michigan football game. And if you guys saw the color of my sweater, it's navy blue and gold. So I want to wear it to the Michigan football game. So I am going to finish my sweater because that's why I picked those colors. So very cool. Bite Angel Zai, if we bought the box, do we have access to both workshops, or do we have to buy both boxes to do both? Nope. So Bit Angel Zai, I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, to answer your question, if you buy the box, you get access to the workshop. So the workshop price is built into the box. And when you buy the workshop, you get both the knit and crochet pattern. Okay, so if you bought 2 boxes, you would actually get access to this course twice. So you could gift it to a friend, like the second one, because you don't need it twice. You only need it once because you get everything you need in that one. But no, if you bought the box, you get the workshop. You'll actually get a postcard that'll give you instructions on how to access your workshop through my member vault. Jennifer says, I'm just starting the hat and it's really hard with the small cable. I think my needles are too long for the cable. That could be, Jennifer, if you're using longer needles and the shorter cable, that will make it so that you can't actually work in the round. That's why when I had mentioned with the circulars for signature, you have to have a 4-inch cable or a 4-inch needle to make the 16-inch circulars work, because the needle itself has to be shorter in order to be able to work in the round. If the needle's too long, it won't work well. It won't work correctly. Lenny says, my first project was your textured triangle shawl. That's a good pattern. That's a good pattern. Will there be a video for BiCrafty soon? Are you talking about a video course like the workshop for the BiCrafty Bootcamp? Because that's what this is going to end up being, guys. So you guys are sort of in on the ground level of the BiCrafty Bootcamp. This whole course, we will end up taking all of the instructions that we've put free online, and we'll be pulling those offline and putting them into really pretty spreadsheets and making really, good videos and such to go together to make this into a workshop that people will then buy. So I'll be reaching out to you guys saying, hey, can we get some like testimonials of, I did the workshop and it's great. I'm an absolute capital K knitter here, and you guys will get some special privileges as some OG members of the BiCrafty Bootcamp.
Yeah.
So when that all happens, just stay tuned. We won't leave you hanging. If you're not part of the newsletter already, you want to make sure you're part of that newsletter, because that's how Chrissy keeps in touch with all of you specific to the boot camp. Obviously, you guys know we have a lot of different newsletters out there, but Chrissy is in charge specifically of the boot campers. She is like your team leader, right? She's your She's your captain. She's
I'm
your
the drill sergeant.
You're the drill sergeant. There you go. I was gonna call you the camp counselor, but that's all right. We'll go with drill sergeant. I gotta take a drink of I have iced tea here. I'm gonna take a drink of tea real quick.
Yeah, you guys are really like the pilot program for this, right? So this was like a brain egg that was hatched, and we really wanted to see how it would work. And honestly, I'm blown away by all that we've accomplished in the last 5 months. It's been amazing.
I can't believe it's been 5 months. It feels like it was just yesterday.
I know.
It feels like it was just yesterday.
I know. It's insane to me that it's been this long and we've accomplished so much.
Yeah, it's really cool. Jan is saying, is Erin Lane bag for BiCrafty Bootcamp happening? Jan, I would love to say yes, but I will let you know that Lindsay has had a lot of different things happening lately, so we have not moved forward with that, but it is still on the radar. So don't give up on me on that, because I know that Lindsay, we specifically talked about doing a DPN roll, so that way you guys had a place to put your DPNs and your crochet hooks. And we talked about doing a bag for BiCrafty boot campers. I was going to reach out to William, who's the person who does all of the sheeple stuff. He's also done a lot of my, you guys know, the turkey trot images or the game day images, or, you know, different images like that. I was going to reach out to him and have him come up with a BiCrafty image. So that way we could have that for the BiCrafty boot campers. If anything, we could just do text also. We'll just figure things out. Jennifer Sear says, it's been 5 months. Seriously, it doesn't feel like that at all. It doesn't feel like that at all.
I know.
It doesn't feel like that at all.
Jennifer Mular said, oh, Captain, my captain.
Okay. I love that. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
That's great. That's great. So you guys are loving it. Tracy suggests t-shirts. I thought about t-shirts. I think
I looked into t-shirts. Yeah. I did a lot of research on t-shirts, but honestly, everything that I have found thus far, it would cost an arm and a leg for either you or for us, and it was not like beneficial for everybody. So I really haven't looked into anything else in the last couple of weeks. I really wanted to make that happen, but we're not there yet. But I'm not giving up. Again, I'm not giving up. I need to find that right connection. So if you guys know anybody who does t-shirts that we could connect with, I mean,
I know somebody who does t-shirts, but I'm terrible at mailing stuff out. So I would have to have.
Right. Yes. So that was the other piece, was we're trying to find a company that will ship them directly to you, where we're not, you know what, there's one other person I haven't tried yet that just popped in my head, but so we want to make sure they're sending it directly to you, because we don't want to have 100 shirts shipped to us and then we've got to mail them all out to you.
So I know that Robin Chichula, Chrissy, had talked to me once before about the website that the people that I purchased my HSE throw shirts from. I got their name from Robin, who does all the Love Crochet. Love Laugh Crochet. And I think they can set up a web page that is specific to us that would be active, let's say, for a week or two. So everybody would have a week or two to place their order. And I think they handle all of the putting it together, shipping, and direct shipping stuff.
I'll reach out to Robin.
Yeah, talk to Robin, because then you could talk directly to them, and they already have all my information because I've ordered stuff for track from them. But maybe that's an option.
Yeah. Okay.
I love a good t-shirt. The Love Laugh Crochet shirts that Robin has. Those are my favorite t-shirts. I love them.
I have some too. It's so funny because I had them before I even met Robin.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I have your shirt.
That's so funny. I love it. Okay. I think that's going to be it from us, you guys. Go ahead and work on your cuff. Be sure to continue to share with us on social media, guys. That is like one of the best things you can do to not only bring attention to what we're doing here, but it's great for us to be able to, give you thumbs up, to encourage you, and to give you all the support you need. Don't forget to leave a comment in the video description box, in the video comments. If you want to do the Latvian braid, or if you have another suggestion, let me know. I'm really thinking about doing that duplicate stitch. I think that's the way to go.
Honestly, I think that's a great idea because we've already done color work. So I think that adding the duplicate stitch is then teaching us something totally new. So I'm down for it.
and we could just do it like on the top of the hand. We could even
Yeah.
add some embroidery if we wanted, we could use our crochet skills. And once we do the duplicate stitch, we could even like do top stitch, slip stitches. To sort of accent stuff, you know, that would be fun too. We'll have to play with that, but do all that. That's it you have from me. When I get the blog post link from Catherine, I will be swapping out the Google Doc. So that way you guys, if you guys are watching this on the replay and you're like, I don't see a Google Doc, it'll be in a blog post. Hopefully you've stuck around this long to know that. And that's it. All right.
Awesome.
Awesome Blossom. Thank you, Chrissy, for joining me. I love having you on here with me. It's always so much fun.
I have missed it so much. I'm so glad I could do it tonight. Wednesday nights are really hard for me with church, but I'm so glad I could be here tonight. I've missed you guys all so much.
Yeah. Thursday nights are great. During track season, it didn't work out because there was track, but I like Thursday nights.
Me too.
I prefer it. So maybe we keep it here for a while. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
I like to be a little fluid, people. Have to be a little fluid if you work for me. All right, guys, that's it from us. We will talk to you again very soon.
Bye, friends.